God bless him. Yeah, all right. Let's see here. Well, this ought to be interesting. Mr. Randall's here. All right. Um, yep. Hey, folks. Michael, you ready? Mr. Dunkley, you want to lead us in the pledge, please, since we've got a quorum and want to get going here. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So we're calling the meeting to order at 6:45 for a public hearing on the local law, where the heck, 1 of 2024, amended local law 1 of 2015. This is for alternate side of the street parking. Essentially, if you've read it, and I'll talk about it a bit. Jeff really kind of spearheaded this. I'll have him touch on it. One of the things I will say is that as a ski town, it doesn't make me happy, the idea of giving people tickets. However, we also have to keep our streets clean. And essentially what we're looking to do is to probably do like at least 3 warnings. So Pete and his crew, since they kind of take care of the sidewalks along Main Street, is if somebody's parked on the wrong side, we're going to give them a warning. They'll take a picture of the car. Warning number 1. Warning number 2. Warning number 3. Obviously, I don't want it to go any further than that. I don't think anybody sitting here wants it to go any further than that. But by the same token, keeping our streets clean and keeping our sidewalks clean is important, especially during the wintertime when we have lots and lots of guests. Jeff, do you want to add anything to that? Do you want to, why don't you, if you want to, please, if you don't mind? Thank you.
Jeffrey Conis. We added a caveat of being able to.
Public hearing.
This, you'll be happy to see this. A caveat that somebody can park for 15 minutes
Thank you.
in that
Yes.
no parking zone so that they can do business. They can run in and out of Sarah's or one of the restaurants. And we did, Kevin and I went down and spoke to Lori down at Marsh's. And I think you went down and talked to Lori Arnheider as well.
I did.
They're both optimistic that they're going to have more parking, not more problems with parking. So,
Right.
and we're going to try to keep good records so that people don't get surprised.
Right.
Pete Olszewski is going to print warnings to be able to put on people's windshields so that they can be reminded that they need to park on the other side of the street. Sir?
Chris?
Yeah, I'm very happy you're doing this. My first question is, with the snow removal and parks and recreation, really the last 2 years, including this year, and they have been doing a pretty darn good job. But with the snow being removed off the streets, parking, we still have maybe a foot of snow on the sidewalk and another foot of snow on the road, but it's maybe a foot and a half, 2 feet tall. And I see a lot of seniors
Mm-hmm.
struggling to get over that. Are we going to be addressing that snow removal also with the alternate parking? Will that be taken care of?
Spent a little bit of time on the phone with Kevin Hajos from Warren County, and he assured me that we'll have a meeting very soon. As soon as we can get this passed, he'll get the signage up and we'll get a meeting together. We're hopefully going to have Fred, although he's not a lot to do with it. He can certainly add some insight. The county will be there. Kevin will be there. Our Kevin will be there, and we'll try to get better communication lines set up so that they can work in conjunction rather than seemingly against each other.
Well, to be honest with you, I've helped a lot of elderly people off that so they can get to their cars, work, and stores. The stores are very, very important. And I know Lori is looking for additional handicap parking, and I think that may be very beneficial to downtown, if that's possible that we can do.
That's actually one of
That's
the
in
things we
plan
will
tonight.
discuss at some point. I missed asking Gene to include it on but we will discuss it later on in the meeting. additional handicap parking, because it is something that we need. There
We
are I think,
We talked to Mr. Hajos about that
About
as
that
well.
as well,
And he assured
yes.
us that he'll get
Yeah.
the signage up just as soon as we can get
Yeah.
acknowledgement of the space, which we have measured, talked to Lori about, and I think Kevin's got on record with himself tonight.
yeah. I mean, the whole idea, Chris, is if we can work it out so that, Pete removes the snow from the sidewalks, county comes along, removes the snow that was on the sidewalks, is now in the street, and cleans the street, then we will, we will have a little bit more coordinated effort. That's the idea. That's what we hope to accomplish. Right. And
Yep.
that,
And our concern is to work together to get that eliminated.
right, and get rid of the ice, whatever you want to, ice mounds that basically are now along the curbside. Now, I know exactly what you're talking, I've done it, I've had to deal with it, I get it. Well, I don't know if again, but here's the other thing too, I would say too, Chris, without alternate side of the street parking, it makes it very difficult to clean the streets properly.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why we're doing
This
this.
is step one. We'll have a meeting on step two, hopefully within the week. And hopefully step three is clear, clean sidewalks, streets, and curbs. Yes. It will be from midnight until 9 in the morning. You can park for 15 minutes, and then we're going to give you a ticket.
No tickets, not yet.
No
Warnings.
tickets. Warnings. And you know what? People are going to forget about it for a while. They're just not going to think about it. I'm going to try to make an effort to get people that have rentals on Main Street aware of it so that the big surprise doesn't come. But if we have some guests in town, the Alpine often has overflow. We'll get a sticker on their window or a piece of paper on their window the first day, and the second day we should be able to touch that up if we're working on the other side of the street.
Mhm. I mean, Chris, I'm not going to argue, but people, it's like watching people drive around the mall parking lot trying to find the closest. I mean, heaven forbid you walk another 20 feet. You wouldn't want to do that, because that's what you do. You watch people drive around the mall parking lot looking for the closest one to one of the doors. And Tops, I mean, for crying out loud, it's not like you're talking about having somebody park in downtown Buffalo for crying out loud. It's North Creek. Park in Tops, get some exercise.
Yep.
And some fresh air.
After 9 o'clock, you park wherever you want all day long.
Yep.
Before you go to bed, move your car.
Oh, dear God.
67, plus or minus. I have no idea.
Yes,
you know
Mr.
about-
Nessel.
How are the rules about alternate side parking going to be transferred to some sort of communication sign?
There will be
Signs.
signage.
Go ahead, Jeff.
There'll be signage at every entrance to town, as there is in Warrensburg. They're going to mimic that at the corner of 28N and Main Street, at the north end of Main Street, and out by Ski Bowl Road.
So how do they know when somebody comes into town, how do they know on that day which side of the street is the alternate side that won't get them a ticket?
On the sign, it will tell them, which side is it, Kevin, do you remember?
Oh, God.
It will tell them the side of the streets that they can park on.
It's even
given
and
the-
odd. I'm trying to remember it.
The day. Even number days on the east side and odd number days on the west side. And it'll be posted on that sign.
These people from Timbuktu are gonna know exactly which is the east side and the west side.
I hope so.
You hope so? No, your job is not to hope, so I don't know about you.
Yes, I'm here and
They will be given a notice, and they will certainly heed that notice, I'm sure. We're going to put a notice on their car. I
if
guess-
we, yeah, no,
I don't know if
that's
you're
the-
listening, but we're putting a note on their car, and we're going to give them 3 strikes and then try to encourage them from there.
I'm talking about people that drive into town from,
So you're saying our visitors, our guests,
Our guests, yeah. We'll put
Pardon me?
we'll put a notice on their windshield, and they'll become very aware of it.
But I think when you're driving into,
They're down, they're coming down 28 N. Okay, so somewhere along there, there's gotta be total information about where they can park, when they can park, what the day is, maybe by a green light or a red light.
Mr. Nessel, I grew up in Buffalo. I can tell you right now, if you drive down Main Street and you notice that all the cars are on the west side, kind of interesting that wow, how come I've got all this free parking on, as you're heading towards, because I'm going to go right, left. So if I'm heading down towards the hardware store and everybody's on the left and I got all this parking on the right, it's like, that's odd. Why isn't anybody parking on the right? You would think that, I would like to think that maybe, a couple of bulbs would go off. Again, you're right. We got visitors coming. We're going to have to do the best we can. I don't know. Signs on the street on both ends of Main Street. Yes, ma'am.
Some indication of which is east side and which is west side? You can tell you, I live here and I don't know which is the east side and the west side. Can we just do left and right?
The sun rises in the east.
Riverside, mural side.
The river.
There you go.
runs-
There you go.
the-
Riverside
the-
and Mural Side.
Yep.
The east side is the riverside. The west side is the mural side.
A lot of these people aren't even gonna know there's a river happening.
They won't.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
I'll suggest that we don't give up on this, and this is kind of comical. I'm getting, this is,
Yep. But if it's covered with.
if you could get that painted by the time the weekend comes around,
But
Kelly, I would
Kelly, if it's
appreciate it.
covered with snow, that's not going to help anybody.
After 9 a.m., they can park anywhere.
Yeah, it's really,
After
it's
9
a,
a.m. in the morning.
yeah, it's a moot
park
point.
Anywhere.
You can
Right.
park anywhere you'd
Left
like
side,
to.
Right side, east side, west side.
Yes, Dina.
Same thing, 12 to midnight, it's midnight to 9.
Yeah.
Visitors probably aren't gonna be here, but
Nope.
is there a way to say the odd number side of the street, like 219 is the odd number side? Is there a way to put something like that on it, or?
That's a
It's-
great idea.
it's- Yeah, it's listed
That's a
on
great
pretty much
idea.
every
I like
building. It's
that.
got their
Yeah.
odd
Yep.
numbers and even numbers.
At least enough of them.
That's exactly what it says, and that's what the sign should say. Yep. We'll catch a couple.
Okay. Again, guys, it's not perfect, but we've
Yeah.
got to start someplace.
Yeah, we got to start
we gotta
somewhere.
start
We've got to be able to get
someplace.
the streets clean, so.
Yep.
Across the street from the bank for 2 or 3 weeks, I believe. There were quite a few days in a row that car was parked there.
Yeah, and they plow around
This,
it.
this,
plow
this,
around
we're,
it.
we're talking this year?
Yeah.
Because there was one that was last year that was completely encased in ice.
Yeah.
No, that's not, it was complete. I mean, they had to, it took, I think, the better part of 3 or 4 hours. Yeah.
And those parking restrictions have been law for 10 years now, 9 years.
That's been since 1999.
How's it?
The original
So the old law was what?
1999, and then it was amended in 2015.
15.
and now we're
15.
making it-
Yep.
Yep.
So pretty much 20, they've been ignoring this.
Our,
that again,
he wants to know about towing, fines, and impounding of cars.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, Chris,
Yeah,
if we go
unfortunately,
past
you're right.
streets, if you've gotten 3 warnings, I mean, come on, man, really? 3 warnings, we're basically saying you had 3 times, we've kept letting you know that.
It
And
is the
again,
law.
this is from 9, this is,
Till 9
mid-
o'clock in the morning, and it's the law. It will be the law if they decide to pass this tonight.
Yes, Dina.
You said something about, before about renters. Did you say that?
I
Mm.
did. I think I'm going to try to make it a point and get an emphasis with anybody who's renting the Alpine and all the store owners,
I mean, the apartments, they should have at least one space.
They'll have more. I spent a little bit of time with Lori down at Marsh's and she is optimistic. She said, I'm going to have more parking now because we'll be able to have snow clean from both sides of the streets. I'm going to guess it'll increase our parking by 60% or so.
So is this the language that we have in front of us? Is this the language that we're working on? Working on amending?
No, this is it.
This is it.
So I had some questions in, because I don't see in here anything about warnings.
You're correct,
You're all right.
but we will be giving warnings.
Well,
So should that be in there? Because we may not always be the board, we may not always be here.
Yeah, I can't submit this as a local law to New York State without everything being stated that is stated right
Yeah.
now.
So
Yep.
we don't have anything about the 3 warnings in here.
Mhm.
And I also have a concern about, so we're going to, after the 3 warnings, which we should put in there, because after the 3 warnings, then that's when we say we're going to impound the vehicle.
This, ma'am, has been a law that's been in effect in
Yeah.
town. It was abbreviated 10 years ago, 9 years ago. It was written 20 years ago, and we have simply amended.
But what have
the-
we amended?
We amended where and when they can park,
Okay. But
and
we're
we fixed a
talking
couple
about-
of typos.
But we're talking about warnings?
So the
We have never
local law
talked about
wouldn't
warnings.
Be enforceable if it wasn't in the local law that I'm sending to New York State.
Right.
So this potentially needs a revision to the local law. I haven't attached it to my state paperwork yet, so we need to have it all up front and on board before I can send that in, or we're gonna, after the first of the year, we're gonna have to amend another local law that amended a local law.
I don't, if
that
somebody
amended a
sees the
local
need
law.
to amend it after this, we presented it last week, and here we are with the final
And
document.
it's amended, but it doesn't have everything that you're stating is in it, should be in it, the warnings and that sort of thing, that needs. to be
That is,
clear in
that
it.
is simply gratis, put forth by the town and Pete Olszewski to be a nice guy.
It is just,
Where is it?
it doesn't say 3-1. So anytime you read one of these documents, right? Shall, may, will, right? You gotta look at those words carefully. It says that I may have a vehicle towed. I may have a vehicle
Yeah.
impounded. I may
Yes.
ticket them.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
You don't have to, you have the authority of.
Notice of removal. So upon me finding a vehicle that's not where it's supposed to be, with the town clerk's help, we can assess whose vehicle it is. And we can issue them a written notice mailed to their address. That's part C of section 7, under removal and storage of vehicles. Again, as you read through there, there's a lot of mays. So I've got some
Yeah.
flexibility.
And there are not many shalls.
Right. I've got flexibility in terms of not just whipping out a ticket book and finding somebody. Likewise, the penalties, I mean, it can range from anything from a $50 fine to 90 days in jail.
Jail.
And that's not for us to decide, that's, if it goes to the court proceedings, that would be up to the justice to decide, and there are subsequent, you know, it's an escalating scale if somebody's a repeat offender. But that's not up to me, it's only up to me to log, record, notify them that they're parked where they're not supposed to be, and then if it becomes a reoccurring issue, then the town justice will handle it.
I read that and I didn't get in the notice of removal that it was a warning system at all. So I don't know how somebody else would read that. That's
Right, but the
just
thing is, and at this point, what we're talking about is no one that, anybody that's parked on the street, most of them are not gonna have read the law to begin with.
No.
Right now, what we're
No.
looking at doing is at least providing them with a warning saying, you know what? We have alternate side of the street parking, period.
So we'll have a sign at the end of the street, which they will pass on the way in. It will be blatant, as you can, I'm sure you've seen the ones in Warrensburg. And we will have, Mr. Olszewski will have the leeway to be able to,
And all I
Forgive.
want to do is warn people, folks. I just want the streets, I want things moved so we can clean the streets,
yes,
period.
it needs to
I
be
do
done.
not want a ticket, I do not want a tow. But by the same token, we have to get our streets and our sidewalks clean, period.
If you review section
Yes,
3 under
ma'am.
definitions as well, it states that this article may be amended from time to time, which we're doing today. And if it needs to be amended again, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, we'll amend it again.
Yes, Ms. Zimmerman? I'm sorry, Bob, Ms. Zimmerman? Yep.
There will be a sign at the entrance to town on the 3 main entrances to town. North end of town, to the hamlet, yeah, to the village.
No.
We'll be removing the old signs too, and it'll make clearing the sidewalks a little bit easier for Pete and his crew.
Mr. Nessel.
Mike, did I hear that the right side to be parked on, or the odd side is gonna be allocated to, or it's gonna be the house, the building number is gonna be an odd number?
No, somebody
No,
made
no,
that
no.
suggestion, even an odd, but again, what we have right now is basically east side,
Even
west side.
numbered days, yeah.
Right.
Even numbered days.
Even numbered days, but they were making,
East side and west side.
right,
The calendar days, you can't lose on that.
right,
Nope.
correct. Yep.
Except, Bob, for the second Tuesday in March, we're going to reverse that.
Any other comments or questions? Any concerns? It's not perfect, guys, but again, we've got to start someplace. Yes, Dina?
I thought I heard you say that there's going to be a notice put on the vehicle
Yes,
at the time that it's parked there.
correct.
So that's gonna happen, and then a letter will go to them after that.
I believe that's the way we want to start. There's any number of ways. Guys,
Be able
look
to
at,
communicate.
what I want to do is I want Pete to be able to say, guys, you can't park here. Okay?
Yep.
You're on the wrong side.
And he needs teeth.
And the other thing that we need to, and the other thing that I would say is this, if when you're getting ready to go into your house or it's, I mean, if everybody's parked on one side of the street, I'd like to think that everybody would like, that's interesting. Why is everybody on one side of the street?
What this law does is it empowers me as Director of Public Property Program to be able to enforce the law. Prior to the amendments that Jeff has worked up, I think it said highway superintendent,
Yep, it was.
which really didn't make sense because we're talking about a county road,
Mhm.
town sidewalks, neither of which have anything to do with our highway department. So essentially, the big change in what we're amending is giving me and my department the control now. And again, administratively, without it being spelled out exactly in here, I can work with you, Anna, or whoever on the board to come up with our flyer, postcard, whatever it's gonna be, our warning card. Again, it doesn't say anything in there, but I intend to have a log in all of our trucks. And we will write down make, model, license plate number, those sorts of things. That's gonna be how we're gonna track, the time we see the vehicle there. Obviously, we're up and down the street, we're moving around, whatever. Again, every tiny detail's not in there, but the big thing is these amendments empower me, my department, to finally try to enforce this 25-year-old law that has done us zero good up to this point.
And our sidewalks have been a mess, haven't they, Kelly?
Ms. Zimmerman,
You've been a proponent, getting them clean.
so if you basically, and again, Pete, I'm going to make a comment here, but I'll let you weigh in. If we got people parking on both sides of the street, we end up with a snowstorm. We can't clear one entire side of the street because you have cars parked there. Then you end up with these big ice mounds because obviously that's right. And all of us have seen them. Right. The whole idea is that if you do alternate side, one side is open, they can take care of it. At 9 o'clock the next day, you can park wherever you want. The next day, we can clean the other side of the street. Then I guess I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
We have signs up already that say no overnight parking. Why is that? I'm just trying to understand. And I get those ice mounts in front of my property, and there's a car that's parked there
I know.
every night,
Mhm.
all winter long, blocking my church.
That's been the problem. That has been the problem, that side of the street.
Because someone can park on
The west side.
west side of the road from November until March and never move their car, because we don't have alternate street parking. There's overnight parking.
So they should.
If that's, I mean,
On-
That's on the other side of the street. There are many areas of Main Street where you can park a vehicle for weeks on end.
Yeah.
Sorry, on one side, yeah. Yep.
And all we're doing is switching sides. One night, one side, one night, the others.
And if you've been in a major city, this is what they do.
Yeah.
Right, correct. Yes.
So I guess we're taking choices to make it both sides no overnight or maybe alternate side.
We're gonna alternate, yes, correct.
We need
Okay.
nighttime.
Sorry,
parking on Main
Jennifer,
Street.
my apologies, I was not clear. Any other questions, thoughts, or concerns? Hopefully, yes. I'd like to think so. Okay,
All set?
thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. All right, it is now, 7:11. Not to be a jokester, 7:11. We are closing the public hearing part of the meeting. And now calling to order the regular town board meeting, Town of Johnsburg, December 17th. And the time is still 7 o'clock, 11 minutes past. I need to, has everybody reviewed the minutes? And if so, I need a motion to bring that to the floor, please.
Motion?
Second.
Any comments? Seeing none, I call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ms. Bowers, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to have the resolution for website hosting, if you would like to speak to that for a moment or two, please.
Sure. So we brought this up in the summertime. We decided to table it because we didn't want to have overlapping hosting solutions, but the website is going to go live in January, the new updated website. So
Yeah.
this website hosting solution will allow us to select a new one because we're switching to WordPress. I gave you guys on Monday, I'm sorry it came late to you, the third proposal, which was from North Shore. So that one comes in at $375 a year. There's optional maintenance plans if we double up 10 hours for $600, 30 hours for $1,500, and the hourly maintenance is at $80 an hour. And I apologize for my voice. I've been talking all week to students and last week, so I think I'm losing it. So the other two options are GoDaddy. We've got Managed WordPress Deluxe. These prices change all the time, so this was as of last week. $131.88 today, renews at $203.88. And the Managed WordPress Ultimate, $179.88 today, renews at $275.88 today. Talking to Carrie Ann from Mad Addy, she says the Managed WordPress Deluxe is what we would need. We don't really need the other one. It's more for sales. So those are our three options to look at. If we go with GoDaddy, Carrie Ann would be the person that we would call. She's our website designer. She is available at $65 an hour for maintenance. She includes training in all of her services. So right now, everybody in town hall is getting trained. Joanne, Jean, and Janae. That's free of charge. She does it until they're comfortable with what they're doing because they're in the back end putting things in on a regular basis. If we were to hire anybody new, they would be $65 an hour to train them. And she said she's basically, if it's a quick question with a text, she's ready to go with that.
Not seeing the North Shore proposal. Am I missing it?
Here we go. No, I
Oh,
emailed it
oh,
to you
sorry.
guys, but I didn't print it. I emailed it yesterday. So with GoDaddy, yes, and with North Shore, yes. Yes, sorry.
You can't talk.
It's the end of the semester working with middle school and high school students. Sorry about that. Yeah, so GoDaddy, yeah, there's just the regular, it's $131. You sign the agreement. They're there to help you with all the stuff. One website, 2 gigabytes of storage, free domain, free SSL certified, WordPress pre-installed. AI creation tool, daily backups, web application firewall, automated malware scans and removal, up to 2 times faster, enhanced security with DDoS protection, staging site. Don't ask me
What that
any
means.
of those mean. Yes, and we can transfer the .gov, so we're talking to Mike Colvin about, we already have a .gov, but moving everything over, so we'll all be secure. Yeah.
Can we ask questions?
Yeah, yeah.
Let the board.
So, I mean, there's no
Thank you for reminding me.
guarantee.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee that it can be done within 24 hours, but Carrie Ann, live websites are her priority. So she's there to help us if something happens with the website. Yeah, and she backs up everything on a regular basis, so nothing can, yeah. I mean, I think it depends on what the problem is. I don't think that there's a specific answer to that, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Chris, can we, I'm going to just interrupt for a second here, if that's okay. A couple weeks ago, I asked if we could just allow the board to have their conversation about the issue or the topic we're dealing with, and then the resolution, then we'll let others weigh in if that's okay. All right. Yeah, sure. I mean, so let me, I guess, more in favor of going with the WordPress Deluxe, but I'd like other people to weigh in on this.
A year ago, we sat here and we kind of looked at North Shore Solutions and in their price and felt that we could do a better thing, but we were under a time constraint.
Yep.
Last year we were paying $565 a year, $150 for each email address. So we had a pretty considerable expense. Even though North Shore is coming in cheaper with this newer platform.
Yeah.
You know, I guess my question, Anna, you've done the work on this. What is
Why this
your
now?
recommendation and your work with Maddie and her recommendation?
Well, if we go with, I mean, she recommends if we go with GoDaddy, go with Managed WordPress Deluxe, because the other one is really, if we're going to be selling stuff, it has way more than what we need. So I don't think that one is an option. If we go with North Shore, I mean, the benefit of that is we have a relationship with them. We know that their customer service is good. They're there. GoDaddy is a larger service, so they are harder to get that personalized service with. If something were to happen, and we are a small municipality, on the other hand, they're a large organization, so they have a good reputation. And Carrie Ann is available really to help us with all the day-to-day stuff, like Matt would be from North Shore. And it's going to be a new thing, right? So I also think if we go with this, and it is not a good fit, because really we have to listen to what Joanne and Jean and Danae say in the office, because
Right.
they are dealing with this on a regular basis. And if this is not a good fit when we go with GoDaddy, then I think we have the option to switch back. It's $131. I don't want to say it's just $131.88, but if it doesn't work, we do have the option to revisit North Shore.
So it's 131 for the year.
Yeah.
And
As of last week,
yeah. And North Shore is 375 a year.
Yeah.
We have $65 for maintenance through our web designer,
Yeah.
and North Shore is $80
it's
an hour for
It's a
maintenance.
significant difference.
Yeah,
So I think that would be my call would be to go with Carrie Ann and the GoDaddy. And for the budget line, so we have to, just before we go to the vote, we've paid North Shore out of our personal contract line, which is A1430.4, which has $18,000 in it. So I don't know, that never came up during budget if we had budgeted money aside for this. We also have ARPA funds.
Yep.
We have $14,000 in that. The line is A688. We have talked a lot about using ARPA funds for other things, and we do have to pay the balance of this as well. So
Right.
it's,
Well, and we only have until next December, I
Yeah.
believe, to use up ARPA money, and I'd just as soon use up the ARPA money.
okay, so we can
That's
use
where I would
that
like to take it.
A688.
Okay.
So we need to move this to the, is there any
Yeah,
more discussion?
any other,
or-
Arnold, any thoughts? Paul?
No,
Okay, all right.
So we're gonna go Word Plus Deluxe.
So, yeah, so we need to move to the floor and,
Okay, so anybody any questions or concerns? Michael, obviously you are the techie here, because I'm not.
My initial process behind that would be go with WordPress, because it's definitely going to save some headache in the long run. If for some reason it doesn't work out with your service provider at the end of that yearly agreement, you can always switch that over to another site hosting, and you can always look into that. It's also great because I see that in a lot of plans, there's a staging area,
Mhm.
which means that you can bring in your own code into it. So for instance, I know there's a lot of building stuff going on the backside. If for some reason the code needs to be fixed by somebody who manages that software, they should be able just to get in, upload the code, and check.
awesome.
I would definitely go with that one.
Okay, all right,
Thank you.
all right. I guess we need a motion to move this to the floor, please.
Motion.
Second.
Any other discussion or conversation or concerns? Seeing none, I call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Thanks for your work on that.
Yeah, thanks, Anna.
Oh,
Thank you.
Now we know government moves very slowly. Chief.
Yes,
Did
it
you ever get
does.
the-
Yes,
to
it
get the
does.
website, but we have it.
But it moves.
Do you want me to fill that in for you and give it to you? With all the information?
Thank you for that.
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay, number 7, resolution, end of year budget line transfers. This is a yearly thing that Danae basically does where we have, budget line where we have money, budget line where we're in the negative. And this is her opportunity to kind of clean things up before we close out the year. So that's basically what we're looking to do here. The heck is my? Yeah, so it's, is this one? It's compensation.
Is that the one you're looking for? Oh,
That's a bunch of them. Actually, there's it is hosting, workers' comp or workers' compensation budget line transfer. What's the other one?
Nursing home.
Nursing home.
nursing home.
Yeah, nursing home. So we're basically going to be paying, the nursing home settlement. That's going to be a budget line transfer. So those are the things we're going to try to, that Danae wants to clean up before the end of the year.
So can we bring number 7 to the floor first?
I'm sorry, my apologies.
Motion?
Motion.
So, can we just check on the date on the workman's comp? Mine has, January 2nd,
Oh,
2024 board meeting,
geez. Thank you for picking that up.
and the votes are already
We're here.
passed, so there must have been,
There was
At
a
our-
copy over, Danae did a copy over for other
Gotcha.
things, they can be changed. That's easy
Okay,
enough to
perfect.
take care of.
perfect.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Seeing none, call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. That's actually, then resolution budget amendment to pay the nursing home is the next one. Again, this is for, when we were working, with the nursing home on their reassessment. It dragged out for a bunch of years. We finally settled with them. This is going to be, us paying them, like, around, just shy of $41,000. So I need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or concerns? I know, don't,
It is what it is.
I know. All right, seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor? Aye. All right. Next is a resolution to formalize the senior committee, Town of Johnsburg Standing Committee. Arnold, do you want to speak to this for a moment or two, please?
Well, we do have a new we do have a newfound committee that is tasked with the process of looking into what may be available, what is available for seniors, what may be available in the future, what we as a town board, what we as a town may be able to offer for our senior citizens. So to that line, we do have a committee that has been formed. The following individuals are currently senior committee members: Anita Abrams, Arnold Stevens, Evelyn Goodspeed, Kim Smith, Jonathan Rader, Andy Waldron, Art Webb, Peter Olszewski, and Aaron Fritz. We have had kind of an informal meeting to start out with. Our next meeting is scheduled to take place on January 8th at 10 o'clock. So we would like to have these members be formalized and make this a committee, standing committee for the town.
Wonderful. I need a motion to move this to the floor, please.
So moved. Second?
Any other
Do you have
comments?
anything to add? Art is,
Congratulations to you, Arnold, for
Yeah,
stepping out and making this possible. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing, oh, yes, Kelly. That are members of the committee that are also seniors. You're talking about seniors in town. I'm not sure which is,
I can't tell you by numbers, I can't tell you because I have been well advised not to ask people their ages. I can tell you that I am at least a senior and I know that Art Webb is a senior. Pardon? We will, this will be, we will take that under advisement for our first meeting. How is that? For our first formal meeting. Okay.
Kelly, that question was asked at the first committee meeting, and it depends on the program that we're talking about. At that meeting, Kim Smith found out that she does qualify as a senior.
that must have felt good.
Without exaggeration, by some definition, all of myself, I believe, are a senior.
Because some is what, like 55 and older, and some is 65 and older, and like,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
55, 60, 65.
Yeah.
Some county programs are slightly older, some.
yeah.
There you go.
All right. Okay, all right, folks. Any more conversation or concerns about this resolution? Seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the next is resolution, and I can't find the dang thing. Thank you, but how come you ended?
One of the last ones I.
Okay, so resolution to support Johnsburg Senior Day. Arthur Webb and Arnold basically started working on putting together a grant proposal. And so Arthur, if you wish to speak to this for a moment or two, if you don't mind.
Thanks, Kevin, and thanks for Arnold. The idea actually came up at the first meeting. There were a lot of really good things going on in the community.
Can we ask you to come down just so that everybody can hear you on YouTube? Sorry.
I'm a senior.
So am I, depending on who you're talking to.
Thanks, Hannah.
Sorry.
Again, I want to thank Arnold and Anita, because at the first meeting, what was pretty striking to me, there were a number of individuals and organizations doing some amazing things in this community, just really fantastic stuff going on. But indeed, one of the purposes of the senior committee is to find ways to communicate with each other, cooperate, and connect. And so part of that was it was a stimulus to say, hey, maybe there's a way of bringing this all together. And I saw on the Adirondack Foundation the Kindling Awards. Anybody ever see
Yeah.
those?
Talk to her. She
Yeah,
knows.
I know you're on the board.
Yeah. It's a
Anyway,
great new program that they're doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Kindling allows up $1,000 for an organization to do something kind of unique in their community to help promote a particular cause. And this particular one seemed to me to be in terms of our creating a senior day, whereby we would bring in not only seniors, but a lot of organizations engaged in the community into Tannery and do a workshop, finding ways to communicate and to connect and to cooperate. And so really that was the intent. So I put together a resolution, Arnold read it, and I think it's good to go. And Pete is going to be the contact person because he, under his broad responsibility, includes aging in the community. So
Who knew?
so the whole idea really here is to begin to stimulate conversations because there's so many good things going on in the community, as I already said. Maybe there's a really good way to begin to connect, as well as the long-range planning process. The 2040 plan of the county has specific areas where they're targeting the aging of our community, as well as, and I think Ann is the representative on the Lake Champlain, Lake George comprehensive planning process, and that too most likely will have a pretty significant statement about aging. So the senior committee plays a major role in bringing that together, and maybe that senior day, sometime in maybe the spring, we can actually bring others together as well. So again, thank you to the board and thank you to Arnold.
Okay. I need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
Second.
Do we have any other comments
Do we have a date?
for the, no, we do not have a date for the actual senior day. Do we not yet? No. We
So
actually
so
have
We're approving the submission
of,
of nomination for funding for a senior day. Okay,
correct.
perfect.
Okay. Any other comments? Seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, fantastic. So today, Fred showed up at my door at 2:30, 2:45, to tell me we got a truck that's down. And of course, it's lovely to, now that it's wintertime when we're plowing, to be down a truck. So, and since the same thing happened to mine, I can speak to it for a bit because it is for a diesel truck, it's a particulate filter that once it gets clogged because of the DEF and everything else that goes on with it, it has to be replaced. It is not cheap. And so we are, it's a floor resolution for emergency truck repair. Have I covered most of it, Fred? Okay. All right. I need a motion to bring it to the floor, please.
Motion?
Second.
Okay. Any other comments or thoughts?
What was the cost? What was it?
It's $8,000. It's an $8,000 repair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It will be. That's next. That's basically, this is the repair. We basically authorize the repair, then we're going to authorize a budget line transfer. Yes, correct.
All of that is in the package.
Yep,
Or the
yep.
line it's going to and all of that. And it's not to exceed 8,000, I don't believe the. actual
Yeah,
amount
that's a
is
ballpark. All
Because
right.
you have the three quotes in at 5,541, 6,000, 6,498.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Timeline.
Yeah, what, do we have a timeline, Fred?
Do we have an expected timeline for the repair? When that might take? Call Charlotte Williams in Plattsburgh, they're the best price, find out if it's in stock, or usually they can get stuff within a day or two. I'm hoping by mid next week we should have it. It's not gonna take Kenny very long to put it together.
Okay.
At one point I was down 4, right now I'm down 2. Fred, thank you so much.
Yeah.
For you and your crew and all the hard work you've done for us.
Okay.
Really appreciate it. And the extra effort you're taking into
Okay, thanks, Chris. I need a motion to bring this, it's on the floor, is it not?
Yeah.
Okay, need a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next is the actual budget line transfer. So basically, we have money for closure of the pit. We're going to move money from that line into the repair line so we can cover, obviously, so we have a zero balance or at least close to a zero balance by the end of the year. Need a motion, to bring this to the floor, please.
Motion.
Second.
Anybody want to weigh in on this?
So this is the floor motion?
This is it right here. We're basically taking money to cover up what we do not have in the, you're over by 12,000, this 8 was gonna bring you to 20, correct? Yep.
Okay.
All right. Did I get a motion or do we have to call? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Next is supervisor's report.
Motion?
Second?
Any conversation or concerns? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, committee reports.
Highway Committee, we had met last Thursday.
Tuesday,
excuse me,
a
yeah.
week ago.
Getting it mixed up here. We made some changes, requested the highway department go back and talk to their men about, changing from 4 10-hour days to 5 8-hour days. Fred went back, apparently talked to them. They talked different ways of doing it, splitting it up or whatever. They preferred not to split it up, and they've agreed to go to 5 8-hour days during winter time. I think this is a positive thing for our town, for our roads, keeping them safe, making sure school, which runs all 5 days. I also realize this is the highway guys, they're giving something up to do this for us, and I do appreciate that and want that understood. This is something that we do appreciate, and it is for the good of our community. Fred, please make sure to pass that to the men too, that we do appreciate this. We're going to be meeting more regularly with our highway committee. We've already figured that out when and where. Seems to be fairly well, was well attended last time, and we did actually make good progress. I'm pleased to say. We're looking at a new truck. I'm not sure, is that gonna be brought back up tonight or not? Okay.
Nope,
No
because
need
we
to
got
at
it on
this point.
Sourcewell, correct? You got it on
Okay, all right,
Sourcewell.
Very good. We've
Oh.
gone ahead with arranging,
Ma-
actually,
Yep.
I had spoke to Danae about 2 o'clock or something like that. The only concern was the approval at the November meeting was for 312 and change. I think the new price is higher than that. So you may be looking at an amended resolution for that price.
Of course we are.
that's really all I have at this point.
Would we have to amend it then at the next board meeting? Is that, am I,
That would have to be the January 7th board meeting.
okay. What do we need is, Fred, what do we need to make, is there any chance of us losing out on this truck?
Yes, if we don't give them a letter of intent very soon. If we don't take that truck, somebody else will step in line and take that truck. It's right now, it's gonna take 12 to 16 months.
And what's the price difference at this point? We've said 312, what is it now?
It's gonna be with the interest, 331. $11,000 for it sitting at White Union until it's fixed. We can't pay for it until we receive the truck.
So can we do a floor resolution where we basically use the resolution in place but change the numbers, Gene? Is that a possibility?
Yep, that would be resolution 21324, I believe. That was what was.
This from the notes?
Yeah, from the minutes.
So yes, we can amend that resolution. We can have the name make the changes in the totals. And a full resolution would be to amend that particular resolution.
Do we need verbiage? Do you have verbiage, Roger, or?
The only other thought I had was that, in speaking with Danae, that we wanted to make sure that we had a copy of that Sourcewell contract and that HLD was a qualified vendor for that purpose. You can make that a condition of your resolution.
Well, then I'm guessing then they should just rewrite the whole resolution. And this would be a brand new resolution if we're making that many changes to it.
Okay, all right. I guess the question is do we, I can reach out to the board and basically we can, if it needs, if it looks like we're gonna get tight on time, Fred, we can have, how much time we need for a meeting, Gene? What's the time lead?
10 days.
10 days?
And with a holiday and people are away, we're
It's
not gonna
not-
have
it's-
time till the next board meeting
Yeah.
anyway at that point.
All right. Okay. All right, I guess it's gonna have to wait till the next board meeting then. Oh. From what I understand, that truck's been sitting there it's been at this place for,
It was built in November.
oh, see, okay, so I was under the impression it was not, this has been sitting there for a while.
We spoke for it previous, but it did not get built until November. I do not know if they brought it to Viking yet. It's just where it's built. And that's where she'll sit until there are terms that have them built. Foul box, wing, lights, all that stuff. It's gonna take, you're looking at a year. They know we want it. I talked to the salesman today again. I think they'll hold off for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Talk to him tomorrow again.
If need be, let me know.
Yeah.
Because what I would do is if we need 10 days, we could easily put together a very quick board meeting, make it public, whether it's a second or third, and at least get it done. If it looks like it's gonna be tight, if it looks like we might lose it, that's what we'll do. I'm not,
I don't think so.
not sure.
Let's wait and do it right.
Yep, okay. All right. All right, where's my,
Committee reports.
all right, committee, Anna, you on?
Comprehensive plan, we had a productive meeting. We're sort of finalizing the language. The documents are going to be sent out to the committee in the next couple of weeks. We are going to have another meeting, end of January, beginning of February. I've asked for a timeline to be sent to us so that we know when the next steps are going to happen, so we can anticipate when it will be brought to the board for us to vote on. Marketing committee, we are going to have a digital mock-up, not for the organizational meeting, but for the second meeting in January of the sign, so that we can look at that and make a decision on whether we want to spend that money. That digital mock-up is going to be free of cost. Anything from zoning and planning?
No.
Okay.
Mr.
Yep.
Williams?
Yep, parks, I shared with the board members, Pete, the Department of Public Property and Programs, annual report of parks, buildings, things that were done, plans going into 2025. So that is in your board packet. I shared it with Jean, and that will be available to the public and the January board packet to see everything that was done. Lights on decorating contest. The Town of Johnsburg Department of Public Property and Programs would like to thank all the 14 local businesses and nonprofit organizations and families that entered the Lights on Decorating Contest. After careful consideration by our panel of 6 community judges, the following winners have been chosen. In the residents category, the unanimous winner of $300 cash prize is the Waldron family living at 19 Osborne Street. The nonprofit category, the winner of the $300 cash prize is Tannery Pond Center. Finally, in the business category, there was a tie again this year. Rather than break the tie, the judges wished to recognize the efforts of both businesses and split the prize, receiving a prize of $150 each. In the business category, the winners are Elderwood and the Hudson River Trading Company. Thanks again to all that participated. Thanks to Pete and all the work with the holiday celebrations. Let's give everyone a hand of applause for the
And even a tree going down and coming back up.
Parks, parks, a lot of the work has come to an end, at least on the maintenance of the grounds, but the work hasn't stopped. The beginnings of the ice rink under the pavilion have started. We're just waiting on cold weather, and we haven't had to shovel it yet. Sewer, we have an important meeting tomorrow. still trying to find a path forward to move the sewer forward. We'll continue to work on that and try and find a way to
Make it happen.
make it happen. Yeah.
Who is the meeting with tomorrow?
Tomorrow's meeting is with Order.
With Order?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you feel hopeful about them being a partner in the project?
I am hopeful that we are going to find a solution to get a sewer system built that services them and the town.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Mr. Stevens?
Seniors, I think we've
I
already.
think we've covered that. I think we've covered that. All right, next is warrants. Motion to bring that to the floor, please.
Motion?
Second.
Any comments or concerns? Seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Privilege of the floor. Who wishes to get up and speak? Wow. Really? Okay. Mr. Konis? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. One of the things, and I knew there was something I needed to talk about. One of the things we're going to look at is handicap parking along Main Street. And Jeff's conversation with this alternate side of the street parking and the new law, he also, Lori from Marsh's had asked about handicap parking. Jeff has been in touch with Kevin Hajos and has measured, and I don't believe they're really side. Is there another place, another handicap spot along Main at all? Okay, but that's it. So we are gonna probably have to take a look at where it might make the most sense. But if we put one in front of Marsh's, it'll service both Marsh's and Barvino, which I think is a good thing. But yeah, that will probably be coming up at the next meeting that we have, not the organizational, but at least to do something for handicap parking. Thanks for the reminder, Jeff. No kidding. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you to the board. I think you've done a lot of progress, had a lot of progress this year, and I know it's difficult, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, seeing no one else to speak, I move for motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.